Some renewed hope tonight surrounding the two massive wildfires as crews make some headway with the Palisades and Eaton fires.
But those living in high-risk areas cannot go home quite yet. There are still safety concerns.
Here's the latest. The Palisades fire currently at 19% containment, 45% for Eaton. 25 people have lost their lives in the two fires, and many more are still missing. Thousands of homes and businesses are destroyed. More than 130,000 households are without power right now. Most of those turned off on purpose to prevent lines from sparking new fires with high winds earlier today. FEMA, by the way, has received more than 53,000 applications for help. Earlier today, Los Angeles officials held a news conference addressing several topics, including response time.
The city's fire chief, Kristen Crowley, was pressed on her leadership from the start.
Had you responded sooner, had you activated those reserves sooner, could you have saved more neighborhoods and more lives?
I would think fundamentally, as we surged exactly how we did, our firefighters pushed in, they did everything that they could, and it's a what if. Again, I want to also focus on, no, of course there's always lessons learned, I tell you. I am taking this to the highest of high thought processes of how the LAFD and our entire region could do better.
Chief Crowley added they pulled every resource they could and thanked all the agencies that rushed to help.
The stories of kindness and giving during this crisis are uplifting.
Fox 11's Laura D is live in Pasadena with the congregation of a church that sprung into action. Laura.
Yes, Christine and Alex, they say we all rise by lifting others. Well, if that's the case, then I'm here with people who are 10 feet off the ground. Take a look.
Terribly. I just left without everything.
Tears, disappointment.
As tears flow, so do acts of goodness. This is the New Revelation Missionary Baptist Church in Pasadena Wednesday. Fire refugees were here to pick up basic items like soap, toilet paper, and toys. People who lost everything in the explosive Eaton Canyon fire turned to their church for help. The pastor of the church, in conjunction with the Urban League, answered the distress call.
To listen, to hear, to empathize, not to act as we have the answers because we don't, but to go back and find the resources that can maybe make the load a little bit lighter over these next few days.
The church estimates it's helped 2,000 people so far displaced by the fire. Some can't get beyond the evacuation zone. Others, like this woman, who came here for help, knows the bitter truth. This snapshot shows her home's final moments.
All of my family that lived in Altadena, all of our homes are now burnt to the foundation.
From 9 to 9, the relief effort continues here. Everything from staples to insurance claims. Volunteers amaze. Like this young Loyola Marymount law student volunteering to help victims fill out a mountain of paperwork. She's not alone.
It's been amazing to see the support that's come out. There was a point where there was too many volunteers, and I'm just really proud of the community for coming together.
It's beautiful. It's phenomenal. It's just that to show that how much love people have out here for each other, to show to each other love back. It's good. It's awesome.
A lot of raw emotion out here today from so many sides. I think you could hear it in people's voices. As we come back live here in Pasadena, people are still filtering in. What they're doing at this hour is they're coming to get hot meals to go, which are at the other end. And I'm told that they're serving hot chicken tonight. People seem very happy about that as their lives are in complete turmoil and upheaval. They will keep this open till 9 o'clock tonight through Friday. Then after that, they expect to scale back hours. But I can tell you here, a lot of people jumping in to say, how can I help? And the victims are feeling that love. I'm Laura Diaz reporting live from Pasadena, sending it back to the studio.
Love to see that, Laura. Thank you. As our community recovers from these devastating wildfires, local and federal law enforcement agencies teaming up to combat fire-related crimes. A new joint task force will investigate arson, looting, fraud, and illegal drone use. The group includes the FBI, ATF, and the LAPD. The goal is to stop criminals from exploiting victims and ensure swift prosecutions. So far, authorities arresting nearly 100 people in areas impacted by the fires. Here's the breakdown. Santa Monica PD says it's made 40 arrests. LA County Sheriff's deputies arresting 39 people. The LAPD arresting 14. The LA County Sheriff's Department says it has made 2 arrests for illegal drone incidents. 2 more men arrested accused of violating curfew near the home of Vice President Kamala Harris. A curfew remains in place from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the mandatory evacuation areas in both the Palisades and Eaton fire zones. Only firefighters, utility workers, and law enforcement personnel are allowed in those areas. Let's talk weather.
Fox 11 Weather is sponsored by Yamava Resort and Casino.
Well, as our Santa Ana wind event winds down, we still have a lot to talk about in the weather, including the air quality. I'm going to get to that in about a minute, but as we take this live view, and if you're outdoors today, you notice how blue the skies were, and things are seemingly fine as far as the air goes, but still some toxic pollutants remain. So we'll talk about that in a moment. Let's just start right here, though. Obviously, the winds on a lot of people's mind. And as we look at this map, this is just going to use these colors to highlight where we still see some wind gusts that are between 20 and even up to 40 miles per hour in some of the higher elevations right now. So we still see that far north and northwest of LA, and a little pocket here right down the 15 corridor, Cajon Pass, into parts of the Inland Empire. And that's where we see a wind advisory that's still in effect, but only for a short time longer. It officially expires at 6 p.m. today. The LA and Ventura County wind advisories have pretty much come to an end for the time being, for the foreseeable future. And also the red flag warnings, that's also still holding, but until 6 p.m. today. Then there is a sliver of certain areas here north where the red flag warning does actually extend into Thursday at 3 p.m. That's going to be parts of the western San Gabriels, the Santa Susana Mountains, kind of the mountains around the Santa Clarita Valley. So that area highlighted in white still will be under a red flag warning into 3 p.m. tomorrow. And that's because there's still going to be at times some gusty winds. We're not talking about anything extreme, but it will be gusty up there between now and, let's say, midday tomorrow. So as we continue through the night into tomorrow morning, again, notice how much lower the wind speeds are area wide. Still a little breezy up there around Santa Clarita and the mountains surrounding it. By 3 p.m. tomorrow, we see all alerts coming to an end. And notice what's happening with the winds at this point. Finally, an onshore wind, and that will boost our humidity. Okay, we talked about this earlier, and this is deceiving, actually. Many of the air quality sensors are measuring good air quality right now. These are picking up on things like ozone and particulate matter, but these air quality sensors, they don't measure toxic pollutants. And I just listened to a lengthy webinar hosted by the Coalition for Clean Air today, where experts on the subject talking about how these pollutants can remain, and actually for a long time. And you might want to think about still, wearing a mask if you're going to be outdoors until we get a real clear sense of what's going on, especially with the cleanup process still underway. They've got that webinar, that video on their website, ccair.org, ccair.org, if you want to look into all the details that they talked about during that. Now, as we move away from this event, I do want to let you know that models are hinting at another Santa Ana wind event going into next week, but the details are all over the place. It's going to depend on the position of a high and a low. I'll just show you right here for Monday. This model is placing this low to our west. There's another one that'll place it to our south, which would mean we might see stronger winds starting on Monday of next week, stronger offshore winds, which would be Santa Ana winds. And just to give you an idea of what we're kind of looking at behind the scenes here in the weather department, we have 2 primary models that are reliable to go out pretty far ahead in time, and both of these are looking at the exact same time frame on Monday. Here's one, the Euro, showing gusts 40-50 plus. Here's the GFS, or the American model, that shows winds almost completely calm across our area at the exact same time. So that's why it's hard to be real confident on the Santa Ana wind forecast for next week, but we see a potential setup. It'll be something to watch. The Monday to Tuesday time frame would be the time to watch for it. Otherwise, again, our weather's settling down. We're going to find humidity going up, might even be some fog near the coast Thursday night and Friday night, and temperatures will be cooler Friday through Sunday. Back to you.